Hey, what's up guys? Just a quick video to give you guys an update excuse me, on this Tesla Model Y 2023 standard range all-wheel drive with the 4680 pack. This is now, gosh, 2,500 miles I have on this thing, maybe a little bit higher, maybe 2,700. And I thought I'd do a quick update. I drive a lot, so hopefully I'll be able to give you some impressions on it. And I basically still really like the car, so I'm not gonna say too much on what I like, because obviously I like it enough to want to keep it, but I'll probably go into a more extensive list of the slight annoyances and the things I don't like or wish Tesla would address more into this video. I'll also go through, and I think because it'll be a short video, I can talk about some of the modifications that I've done, because I think that's always a fun subject for Tesla owners. So I'll definitely go through that. I didn't really do a lot of modifications, but just things that either I felt the car should have had, or things that I needed for my particular use case. So let's see, let's look at the consumption. How have I been doing on consumption with this car? And let's see, so overall I'm averaging about 303 watts per mile. And I do a lot of freeway driving, so most of my driving is in fact probably, gosh, on average 80 to 90% freeway, and that is at high speed, you know, above 75 miles an hour. So I could easily get this to maybe 250 in an all city kind of a drive, and that's probably to be expected. In terms of range with the 20-inch, oh gosh, what are these called? 20-inch induction wheels. I don't mind them, actually, as far as comfort is concerned. Then they're actually not too bad. Sorry, gets a little bit noisy. Got some folks. Oh, guess where I'm at? That is the Rivian R&D center that they've recently taken off all of their signage. So I don't know if they're moving out or if they're no longer there, but this is right by my work here. So anyway, trying to find a quiet place. It's kind of windy. So yeah, I don't mind these wheels too much. I thought I would basically hate them, because I do like a little bit more meat on here for comfort and NVH and the range, because it's a lighter. The less wheel you have and the more rubber you have, the wheel package tends to be lighter and better on range. But they've been fine, you know. I don't mind, like, even with the stated 270-ish miles of range, which if you do the kind of driving that I do, you will not achieve that. You'll probably get close to like 240 all freeway, just to give you guys a heads up. But honestly, I drive so much, and I have chargers available to me at work, at home, and you know, obviously all the superchargers, as well as I did also get that CCS adapter right there. So I basically charge it anywhere. Charging has not been an issue. Range has been a zero issue. I think if we went up to, let's see, from LA to San Francisco, like the first week we got this thing, and having the convenient Tesla superchargers around was just great. It was like basically a non-issue. So let's see, some of the things I do like about it. Gosh, I mean, the seats are pretty comfortable, and overall it's just been great to drive. Obviously Autopilot is one of the best in the business. I like it enough to want to keep it. Oh, this car, just in case you guys are new Tesla owners, it has so much room, like it cannot be understated enough, because like having this frunk and basically the trunk as well as the little cubby underneath the trunk floor, it's been fantastic. Just, it feels like a little minivan. But anyway, not to dwell on the things I like about it, because you guys have probably all watched the different review videos, etc. I'll go through and talk about some of the things I don't like. So this is coming from a first Tesla owner, not my first EV owner. I've had EV since 2013, but admittedly this is my first Tesla. One of the things, in no particular order, the poor turning radius. So always expect to be making 3-point turns in on most streets, at least here in LA. If it's like a double lane and you're doing a U-turn and you're entering and you're U-turning into a double lane, you'll probably make it just fine. But if it's a single lane, definitely expect to be doing like a 3-point turn. This next thing, the trunk latch. This trunk latch, so on the auto trunk, even though it's nice to have the auto trunk, I kind of wish it didn't, because as this thing closes, that right there, I'd say, gosh, maybe, I don't know, just rough 1 out of 10 times this will actually not close, and it'll stay open, and you've already like gone into the mall or wherever, the grocery store, and you realize, oh, you come back to your car because you're not paying attention to your phone, obviously, that's telling you, the app's telling you the car is unlocked, that the car is unlocked because the trunk didn't close. It won't basically lock itself until everything is closed. So that's a little bit annoying. So now I just have to, every time I open and close the trunk, I just kind of sit here and make sure it closes, or give it a little bit of a tug downward, so make sure it closes and latches. So that's a little irritating. There is also wind noise. This thing has a lot of wind noise. A lot is over, kind of exaggerating, but it's enough where somewhere along here and somewhere on that window, there's quite a lot of whistling, especially over, say, 65 miles an hour and over. It starts to whistle and whistle and whistle and whistle. And I've already adjusted the windows, automatic up and down. You go through that configuration process where you hold the windows down for 15 seconds and hold it up for 15 seconds, and it kind of recalibrates everything. Didn't do a thing. So I may take it in, I may not, I don't know. It doesn't bother me that much. I'm kind of getting used to it. One of the other things too that's a minor annoyance is when you get in the car and you hit drive. See, I hit drive right now. It's still not in drive. I have to kind of hit it again for it to get to drive. So I think that has something to do with it recognizing, like, as you step on the brake, you have to like step on the brake and wait like a half a second and then press drive, or just press drive twice. Anyway, there's some inconsistencies there. Kind of a minor thing as you get used to it, but just mildly irritating, I guess. Bluetooth connectivity. So I primarily use Bluetooth off of my Android phone, and I'm listening to basically a podcast right now, and I'd say 3 out of 5 times, or even one, maybe even a greater chance than that, this will not come on as default. You'll have to go into your phone and mess with the settings and press select Spotify or your podcast app on your phone and hit play before it recognizes it on here. So that's just a little bit of an irritating thing. All of my Android Autos and Apple CarPlay cars haven't really had that issue, so I'm hoping that could be addressed, because it just it's just another kind of added convenience factor if they can fix that. The parking distance. So the new update, because obviously this car doesn't have the ultrasonic sensors, so it relies on the latest update, which is reliant on these cameras here, and the camera up there, and the other camera in the trunk, to basically estimate what your distance is from objects around it. It's kind of useless. I wish there was a way to turn it off. I have to find a way to see if there's a setting somewhere to turn it off, because it just kind of beeps and beeps and beeps, and it's not really that accurate, that where the beeping and the different tones of the beeps and the constant beeping, if you're basically, it thinks you're close to an object, it's useless, so it just becomes irritating. So I'm gonna try to find a way to turn that off. Suspension. So one of the concerns I had with all Teslas in general, except for the higher end air suspension ones, but the 3 and the Ys, is to have very stiff suspension. I've kind of gotten used to it. I definitely equate it to like a sportier European, BMW M Sport or Audi S line or the RS line or AMG, kind of very firm, sporty feel. So it's going to be a trade-off. For me and my wife, I wish it was softer, because like different kinds of washboard style streets, and it just gets to you. You're just being vibrated like crazy. But on the flip side, it handles big bumps, like as you're making a right-hand turn or a left-hand turn on a long sweep or on a freeway, and you encounter, you know, like a expansion joint transition or like a more or less fairly deep inconsistency on the road, and most cars would sort of become uneasy as the chassis and the body roll around each other. This car handles those situations very well. It's very planted. Suspension is well tuned for those sporty kinds of driving, and this thing has so much grip actually. I don't know if it's the 255 tires or just the chassis dynamics in general, being that the power pack is heavy and is down low, but this thing grips. Like, I kind of want to take it on the track. Has a ton of grip. But the flip side is it's not very comfortable. So like trying to sleep in the car on freeway drives, you make sure to get like a soft pillow, because if you're just leaning your head back, it's bouncing off of the seat just constantly. So it's one of the things. Supercharging issues. I haven't really had any supercharging issues. It's always connected every time, but I did run into two supercharging issues in the last 2,500 miles, and I do maybe 50% supercharger and then the other 50% home or office, where either the supercharger was down, I had to go transfer to another stall, or I got to a supercharger location, it was just completely packed, I had to wait, or the other one was that stall itself was not working. So I don't want people to expect, you know, Tesla's going to be super perfect, but in every single one of those instances, I've been able to charge during that time. So it isn't like, you know, Electrify America when I had the Rivian before. Oh my God, it was like literally probably a crapshoot if you're going to be able to charge at that given stop or not. So next thing, just impressions. This roof, this glass on the roof, there's a bird poo right there. It does get pretty hot. So I see those, you know, add-ons and modifications where they actually put some kind of a cover. There's some roll away ones, some that fold away, some that retract, some are just, you know, kind of, I don't know, kind of just pasted on there or something. But there are many different kinds. I think I have to look into one for the summer, because this like layer of like maybe 6 inches when you're driving, and I'm tall, I'm like 5'11" ish. I'm tall enough to feel that heat on my head, and it's kind of uncomfortable. So I might try to find a way to get that installed. Rear glass visibility from the rear view mirror. So I hadn't really expected this, but rear glass visibility right there. Well, you can't see it, but there, maybe like that. So it's a very tiny slit of the rear glass that you'll be able to see, and it's incredibly dark because the luxury package has all the windows tinted. You can't tell from the phone because the phone does different light calibration, but from your naked eye, this window, that window, and these windows are very dark. So, you know, you have to get used to that. And most cars, like let's say Japanese cars, for example, that have a tall trunk like this, they have, like the Prius, for example, has a visible window that is, you know, a dark tinted window that's cut out through here that you can't really see inside this way, but you'll be able to see out from your rear view mirror. So that helps a lot in aiding the rear view from the mirror. Kind of a minor thing. I honestly got used to it. But for a while, I was considering getting a LCD mirror, which, you know, you can get a camera from back here or a camera from up there pointing outwards, and it'll reproject the image onto that rear view mirror. I had that on order, but I just decided not to do it. Took it off the shopping cart. So let's talk about mods real quick. I might actually save that for another video because this is now 14 minutes. Never mind, let's just get through it real fast. So let's see here. Front PPF. I actually ordered a PPF full kit for this and did it myself. So I did the mirrors, I did the front fender, I did the lights, did the front bumper, and the hood, and the other fender and the other mirror. Now, one of the things I honestly kind of rushed my way through it, and one of the issues, as you can see, is that's starting to bubble up. So I need to, and it's starting to get some dirt under there, so I may just actually cut around it because if I try to push it down now, it's just not really gonna stick very well. So there are some of those things, but overall, I mean, I think I did a pretty damn good job. There might be like a few water spots that you can't really see. Oh, here's one. Let's see. Yeah, see how hard it is to tell? Right there. There's a tiny water spot in there, which I just need to take a little needle and evacuate all the water out. But this is one of the issues with doing it yourself. See that edge right there? It's now starting to gum up with dirt because it lifted, because that's kind of a tight radius corner, and it lifted. But I'm probably just gonna cut around it if it really bothers me. But those are more or less the issues with the PPF. Totally doable by yourself. I did it by myself in maybe 4 or 5 hours on everything. Oh, and I also added this piece over here. So I got it from Test Bros, and I don't know, I don't recommend them because I actually ordered one for the trunk, one for kind of this back area right here, and it folds in on the inside, but they sent me the wrong one, and they're like non-responsive on email when you need a support thing answered. Completely non-responsive. It's as if they were just not even built to answer emails. Anyway, so window tint. Also did window tint, this window, the windshield, and that window. So it's very light. I really mostly did it for heat, IR and UV rejection, but that's like 85%. This is 85%. This is like 90%. But it has a, you know, one of those, like, it's all ceramic, so you can't really tell, but it does have tint. I may want to go a little bit darker on this one, depending on the light angle. You can kind of see the difference between front and back. I may want to go a little bit darker because it is getting kind of hot here in SoCal. But that's another mod. I got a bunch of like little drawers, little kind of drawer things and cubbies and, you know, whatever, just to this rubberized silicone cup holder thing. Just a bunch of little random knickknacks like that. And here's another one that I got as well, which is a mini heads-up display, or just the front display. And it basically runs off CAN signals. If you're familiar with that, it runs off the CAN bus. And it's pretty easily installation, but you have to take apart all of this, and maybe takes about an hour. Is it okay? I mean, for the price, it's okay, but the quality of the LED isn't really very good. So the black levels and the pixelation, it's not great. It has kind of a weird bluish tone to it, so it's not going to exactly replicate the standard screen, but you know, for what it is and for the price, it's good enough. Mudflaps. I got those Mudflaps aftermarket. It actually came with the rears, but I don't think I need the rears. Have I noticed any change in range? Probably not. It's probably very minimal. I also got rubber mats. These ones I really like. So I forget who makes these, but I usually get the 3D Max Spider ones, but I found these and I took a chance and I really like them. They look like carpet, but this is all little tiny nylon loops that are rubberized and have a lot of grip. So you know, if you guys are interested, let me know. I'll find a link and I'll post it. Let's see what else. Also got various random mats and things, like what, you know, most people get, because I do put my mountain bike in here, and this rubber mat goes all the way through up into those two rear seat backs. They've been really good. I'm really pretty happy with those. But oh, the number one mod that you guys cannot buy if you have an Android Auto, I don't know how it works with CarPlay, but this little POS, it's called CarLink. They can't even spell it right. But I'll do a whole video on this, but this is essentially enabling, or was supposed to enable, Android Auto on your display here. It seems to be okay with CarLink. I can't really tell, but with Android Auto, it's just complete garbage. It won't connect most of the time, and when it does connect, it won't stay connected, and you're really literally spending so much time trying to get it to connect. So it drops the connection pretty much, you know, instantly. Anyway, so that's kind of the update on 2,500 miles on the peasant spec, cheapest Model Y that you can buy right now. Basically, I've been pretty happy with it, so I would recommend as a car guy, or even, you know, as just a commuter. It's pretty good. Pretty happy with it. All right, hope you guys have a good one. Take care. Bye now.